Keele, Valleyfield underway as Valleyfield looks to join St. Clair as victorious Canadian squads. Potty getting the opening shot and Broken with the fall-away save, falling into his own net, barely keeping Keele off the scoreboard early, but under fire early is Valleyfield.
Indeed, Stacks, and these first opening games on land as Potty gets the first goal of the series. So important for a tone setter. Immediately, Valleyfield, they're sat there and the pressure is on.
You see the assist from K3 on that opening goal. Expect a lot of that, especially out of Keele, but also out of Valleyfield, two of the teams that rely on team plays the most in this tournament. Here's Tokyo trying to beat K3, not happening. And Vegas with the follow-up, looking over towards Broken, very selfless play. A lot of players, I think, would have tried to kind of throw a soft shot on target. Not the case here. This will go back towards the blue half of the field, and Tokyo and Broken both gave a look. It'll be Broken, intercepted by Dews, and now Keele has the tough task of keeping Valleyfield at bay. These are two teams, Talacto, that are very evenly matched.
They certainly are, and two teams with fantastic offenses as well. Coming into this matchup, I mean, they've got the early lead, and of course, to me, that's reassuring, but you wouldn't want to be in Keele's shoes. This is their first major LAN event together, and they're having to fight Europe's corner right now. Europe currently in this tournament, let me take a breath, I don't want to cry, 0-3 in series coming into this series. Keele really needing a redemption here against a Valleyfield squad, which it's so difficult to know what you're going to get, which Broken is going to show up. They can take it to the best, and if Valleyfield hit their stride, Keele could find themselves in hot water.
Keele trying to be the only European squad so far to have a shot at avoiding playing tomorrow, as Potty will score another. Two quick ones out of Potty in the first couple of minutes. Another assist for K3 on the challenge in the corner. That one just got away.
Beautiful shot to the top corner, and even the celebration. Look at that man sliding along, moonwalking on the side of his Fennec. That is style. I mean, I don't know why and how he pulled it off, but I'm impressed nonetheless. It's 2-0 to the lads from the UK. Valleyfield, though, not even 2 minutes played on the clock. They can find a response, but they're going to have to build from the back. And Tokyo, he's going to try to do just that, but the flick only goes as far as Potty, who picks out Dews in the middle. But his shot picked towards the bottom corner, saved routinely.
Tokyo just ahead of Potty there, but Dews is there to intercept. And again, Valleyfield having a real tough time getting on this half of the field. Now they are, after the demo on K3, but Potty takes over, and look at Tokyo and Broken forced to retreat again. Now K3 just ahead of Tokyo, but Vegas will take this. Redirect is just off the mark, and K3 will come in to play janitor and clean it all up. It's still dangerous, but that's a good move by Potty, not playing that up into the oncoming challenge. Play low and away. Here goes Potty for Keele again as the Krakens reverse.
And that was a big chance for Broken. He's going to get another one here, and he's not going to take it either. You want the chances, if you're a Valleyfield fan, to be falling to Broken. You know, he got a goal a game in the regular season. That's 6th of all the players in East, and he's had 2 half chances. Not easy ones, right? But of a player of his quality, he'd have been wanting to bury one of those.
Valleyfield struggling to get anything going here. This is up to the backboard, but nobody diving in support. The defense for Keele on point until now. The shot ringing off the crossbar. So finally Keele having to rely on old Ironsides to play a little defense for them as this goes back out to the side, and Potty will have Broken kind of giving him a little business, but now Broken can pop this up for Vegas. Valleyfield getting into a little bit of a rhythm now, Talacto, but it's taken them a good 3.5 minutes. Can they get this offensive ball rolling here?
That's the thing. They just need that first goal, though. The second they get one on the board, that Keele stability and confidence that they're feeding off of because of the 2-0 lead that has just become 3. This man scores and just lays back. It's 3-0 Keele.
It has been kind of a lazy day at the office for the Keele Krakens. Business as usual. 3-0 lead, a hat trick for Potty. And now all the pressure on Valleyfield just to get some kind of offensive momentum going. They've had some spurts on the blue half of the field, but nothing sustained. They're not getting those second and third chance looks. Demolition taking out Tokyo. Wide open ball on the weak side, but again, Keele doesn't really need to chase this at all. Not trying to overcommit at this point, and just above their 2.x goals per game average. They will take a game like this, where again, they've been so good defensively in the EURC, now getting to test their mettle against North America. They have certainly proven to be up to the task here in game one.
Valleyfield, you just can tell they're desperate for possession in the blue half. They might get a snag at it here, but Vegas is unable to keep control. Broken's touch can only buy time for Dews to come in and collect. He's playing it down that right-hand side in the blue. The flick, underwhelming though. Big challenge from Tokyo. You want him to be confident. And in general, Valleyfield, as mentally, they probably slowly write off this game. They're going to need to find the improvement throughout this series, Stacks. But we know they can. I mean, look at this team back in the fall. They were bottom of East League play. I think 2-9 was their record. To think that it's the same three-man roster coming into this season that ran the gauntlet of the LCQ, we know they can be so much better than this.
We saw St. Clair earlier drop a couple of games. They brought it all the way back against Kit. Valleyfield drops the first one. It's a shutout because Potty is not interested in giving them any concession whatsoever. The Keele Krakens have been unleashed.
It's a beautiful performance in game one. Can't have gone much better. I mean, if you're Ethan, of course, 0-0 Nation coach stood behind them. I mean, he's got his notes out, professional, the way he's managing the team right here, but he will be very happy with what he saw in that game. A lot of teams as well might get carried away with the adrenaline. You know, this is your first LAN event. You're repping, you know, Keele, the city, England, the country. Of course, England is not my city, and also Europe, the continent. Like, to get your opening two games, and it's huge goals in that game, I should say. The adrenaline will be flying so intensely that it's easy to get carried away, want more, go for too much offense, and leave that door open for Valleyfield to fight back, but they didn't. The game management was really mature and professional, and if they can keep that up, Valleyfield are going to have to put in so much work to wrestle this back. As
we look at the Game 1 recap, our Nissan replay shows the hat trick from Potty, all 600 points of it. It's just an absolutely dominant performance, and how about that for your debut on LAN too? I mean, this is a stage that for, you know, any lesser players, it does some real bad things to you.
It really does.
Causes a lot of nerves. You get the cameraman kind of walking back and forth. You got the lights. You got the crowd. Nah, Potty not affected at all by that.
Yeah, and it is so reassuring to see them hit the ground running. I mean, they played together in person at Keele University, but they have never played in front of a crowd like this. And I think that's the beautiful thing for Keele is, you know, they're sort of a three-headed trident hydra. Call it what you want. Any one of them can step up. That's a hat trick for Potty in the first game, and maybe he's feeling it, and we'll see more of that this series. But if K3 and Dews step up to take over the mantle of the offense, that wouldn't be surprising in the slightest as well. It's not just about shutting one player down for Valleyfield.
Yeah, you don't see many hat tricks from a player in their debut at a world championship. Al Horford-esque for all the basketball fans out there. So now we wait for game 2 to start, make sure everybody is good to go. Of course, that's the other side of playing at a LAN. You know, you've got admins on hand just in case there's any kind of problem. If you got something with your audio, something with your inputs,
yeah,
everybody is on hand. They can get everything taken care of very quickly. And you can see a lot of the players still hanging out, watching some of their fellow countrymen, some of their fellow regional competitors, kind of cheering them on as well. And that's what I love about just Rocket League in general, the camaraderie between players, between teams, even across regions, is phenomenal and something that you don't often see in other esports.
Yeah, certainly so, and it just comes from that community and that understanding that you are representing more than just yourself as a player. You're representing your city and your university, and you kind of have to be mature because of that. It's not just like the age difference to professional that T-Bates alluded to earlier. You know, if you're a bubble team, if you're an RLCS team, you don't get the results you want, you know, the mood goes down, and eventually if things continue to go on the slide, you're like, well, see you in a bit, I'm out, or you make a roster change. You know, when you're the only players at the university and you have so many more limited options, you're forced to take things, I mean, I don't want to put it this way, but more maturely, you know, more professionally, because you understand that these are the tools you've got to work with, and you don't want to look at them like tools. They're your friends, they're your teammates. You know, you may even be flatmates with them in some cases as well. It's a much more community-based approach to the game.
So as we wait to get into game 2, if you're just joining us, Keele Krakens took game 1, 3-0. Potty with the hat trick. And I'll be honest, it was 3-0. It didn't look that close. You know, it looked like Keele probably could have put another 2 or 3 goals in with all the pressure they had. And this is going to be interesting now because you're going to have this little, this extended delay in between games while we get things sorted out with, it looks like Broken. And I wonder if that will do anything to Keele's momentum. I mean, you got to be kind of riding high off of that big 3-0 win, and then you kind of get iced a little bit while you sit there. I mean, it's not like the other teams are all just in free play. They've all got their attention on Broken as well. But I think just that little mental reset could be very valuable for Valleyfield. Yeah,
and of course you can see the player areas there. Plenty of spectators as well watching.
This is what I love about DreamHack, by the way.
It's so good. And as I don't actually know which the specific game is on the alternate stream right now, twitch.tv/College Cardboard. It may be Columbia Hamburg. I'm not going to say for sure, but it certainly could be. You can check that out as well if you want to follow all the games. But we're here right now waiting on game 2 between Keele and Valleyfield. And you talked about that extended delay. We also had one similarly before the series as well. So it can go both ways. Keele, they really did respond well as you see them, staying hydrated, keeping it healthy. Valleyfield, maybe they can get their act together here because like I was saying in the game, they can do so much more. Maybe it's credit to Keele. They shut them down and Broken is trying to make sure he's comfortable and set up properly, and he's going to want to put in a good performance, a great performance, a performance to remember, really, Stacks, because Broken, as far as I'm concerned, he graduated this semester, right? This is going to be his last performance for Giuseppe de Valleyfield, and he's not going to want it to be one like this.
So as you can see there, one of our lead admins there, Mateo, is swapping out monitors for Broken. So we're going to be an extra moment here. At least we're not waiting with like 10 seconds left in the game. This isn't the first killer thing all over again. So this will be like one of those pit stops. You just kind of start timing him now, and then if he's over the threshold, then we'll have to kick him out and bring like Stump or somebody else in to run things up on the stage. But everybody at an event like this, I mean, it is all hands on deck almost all the time. I mean, you might have seen a moment ago, one of our guys up on stage was just trying to like quickly get a bite to eat for lunch, get a quick drink, and then go right back to work. It's just, it is everybody just kind of running around, putting out fires. It's a lot of fun to watch, especially from our perspective behind the scenes, because, then we get to look at FDOT trying to distract us and all that entails. And eventually we'll kick him out as well. But again, back to all of this. I mean, we have some stroke. We can absolutely get rid of FDOT. So Keele again with the 3-0 lead as we see the Penn State boys victorious earlier today.
Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about that, but they're sat next to Portsmouth.
Why don't we talk
they have a smile
that?
on their face. They're probably all our favorite lower bracket team.
Another 5-gamer if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean they will play UNLV tomorrow. It was a game 5. It was a very, very close one. That is of course the EU 1 seed, the EU champions, the Portsmouth Paladins, being knocked to the lower bracket in Group B by Penn State, the lowest seeded NA team.
And you mentioned something there that's very important. If you go down to the lower bracket in your group, you have to play tomorrow. If you go 2-0 today and you top your group, you don't have to bother with tomorrow. You can go chill by the pool all day. You can just hang out and not have to worry about playing serious competitive Rocket League until, of course, Sunday when everything is on the line here. So very important for these teams to get off to a quick start here on Friday, avoid the first day of the weekend, and get into that top 8. Looks like the monitor is in position and ready to go. We'll just see if Broken is good to go, and we will get into game 2 again as quickly as we can. Everybody working as quickly as we can behind the scenes to get things up and rolling. The hat trick from Potty in game 1 has the Keele Krakens out to a 1-0 series lead. Here in our 3rd best of 5 of the day. We're in Group C right now, trying to send somebody into the upper bracket as we get ready up on Aquadome.
Yep, playing host here for game 3. Valleyfield looking to bounce back. Keele really looking to try and keep their foot on the pedals. The kickoff goes blue, and Dews will take possession early on. And that's the question for me. Will Valleyfield be able to get possession of their own to bring that Broken Vegas combo into play? It feels like even before college and university for them, those two have been playing together for years. I don't even know how long, but the chemistry they must have built up over that time, it's going to be tested in tough times like this.
Vegas and Dews were contesting that ball, and then neither decided to take a touch. And now Vegas up the side to take this across, and intercepted by K3. Tokyo didn't even jump. He realized K3 was up so soon, and that's been Keele's strength. They've just been faster than Valleyfield so far in the first now 5.5 minutes of this series.
Vegas takes his time. Nice patient drop down to Broken. We talked about that link up, but K3 does shut it down at the second challenge. The poke out from Tokyo is a stretch for Vegas. Poddy's challenge will keep it in the orange. K3, what is that angle?
It is K3 adding yet another Poddy involved in the act as well. He set it up. K3 will score. Here we are. 4-0 in the series now for the Krakens. Valleyfield yet to score. Vegas coming up off the kickoff, but there's Dews, even without K3 on the pitch. As K3 up against Tokyo, this goes out to the corner, and as every other neutral ball has found a way, it's right back in front of Valleyfield's net, and the double set away.
Keele, their offense just looking so potent right now. Shouldn't have really questioned whether the Krakens would look at home on Aquadome. They're looking like they're having a great time here as the Riptide keeps on coming. Valleyfield are able to press forward, and the dunk will go to Tokyo. Smartly takes his time. It had limited options as Dews will try and shut down one. It looks like he had the flip reset, but Poddy, his challenge safe and sound for now. But Valleyfield, that's what they need, and they can keep doing that if they got the confidence to pull it off.
Again, I go back to what we saw out of St. Clair. Valleyfield, the other Canadian squad, they are far from out of this after only just a game and less than a half of one. But you gotta wonder when that offense is gonna come. Ball out of the corner, now Dews, taken away by Broken, nobody else there. Poddy just a little bit faster, pop up for K3, and you see how early K3 jumps. Tokyo has to react so late to the play.
Yeah.
That's one of their better shots downfield, and it's easily set away by Dews. Nobody might be at the net though. Dews just turned around with, it looked like Broken kind of had him in the crosshairs, but did not make contact. They got the clear. Now Tokyo will set up to bring it in again. Instead, K3 jumps in. And again, Valleyfield just kind of leaving opportunities on the table.
It's a shame. It was a really nice, confident pre-jump from Vegas earlier, and it's a great read by him, but just doesn't really feel like they were on the same wavelength, the same page. It didn't really result so much, even though it was a fantastic play. A good challenge here, but Poddy will still win the second ball. And Keele, you know that I've learned that in Sunday League football as it bounces up. Try to be a shot down from K3. That angle, he's not able to pull off, but Poddy, look at how much time he's got there to get 2 touches. He's shut down nicely by Vegas, but again, the second ball, Keele aren't even being challenged on it. They're able to pick the pass into the middle, but the shot is over the bar. And say what we will, Keele looking dangerous. Valleyfield have still kept it to just the one.
Yeah, keeping things within arm's reach, and this is a team, if you let them hang around, plenty of other teams have found out the hard way, they will punish you. Talking about teams like Ottawa, San Diego State, North Texas, Mizzou, Florida, they all fell to the Valleyfield as Vegas for Broken could not quite get the read. Dews with a backflip, but that's just wide. And a missed opportunity there for Valleyfield. Looked like they were going to catch a break.
Maybe.
There's Broken just high and no further follow. There it is late, and K3 stopped it as well.
Crikey, cool the Carpenter right now. Keele with 2 back-to-back saves by the woodwork. Valleyfield looking more hungry, getting closer and closer, but K3 playing interference there. Smart positioning, but Valleyfield, they look like they could certainly get their first goal of the series awfully soon. That one just off the mark as well, and Keele will be considering themselves a little bit fortunate right now.
The gaps are opening up defensively on the Keele half of the field, but Valleyfield have not found the net just yet. Maybe they did here, but K3 swoops in, kind of bailing out Dews there. That's been kind of the theme. K3, we mentioned it on the desk, came back from holiday to help lead his team here, but can't do anything about this when he's taken off the field by Broken. Vegas scores, Valleyfield gets there first.
It's a 3-man play, the pass from Tokyo, demo from Broken, and of course, Vegas is there. All 3 players committed to the offense. They knew the writing was on the wall. They had to score in this final minute, and that's a massive goal. Be it their first of the series, it will feel so good. And Keele, they're gonna have to get back into gear.
And the complexion of this game changes entirely now with Keele not trying to nurse a narrow lead or add to it. Now they've got to go chase it again, and they do! It's Dews' shot that just got by the defense.
The little magician pulling off another trick here. The delayed flick. Broken and Vegas stretching, but my goodness, even a cheese drink couldn't put that one out. That is a 2-1 lead for Keele in the final 20 seconds. Can Valleyfield really find another late response?
So Keele answers the bell again. up with 15 seconds. Broken and Vegas on their way downfield. Potty took that away, still in front, and deflected away by Potty at the last. Vegas, one last look. Toss up to the backboard. This got through. Tokyo now just lob one in. K3 trying to bring this to ground. Somebody's got to take charge. It's Vegas who didn't dribble. He just popped it up, and Keele will end it. 2-1. They give up a goal here, Galacto, but still on match point.
A very quick response as well. You could have easily seen that game go into overtime and maybe Valleyfield pull it out and completely equalize and stabilize their situation. But we are back in the same situation as our first series of the day. The institution from Canada 2-0 down in the series. Are they really going to pull off another reverse sweep? There were signs there late in that game, but for me, they didn't really dominate the possession the same way we saw Sinclair a lot of the time earlier against Kit.
Our replay driven by Nissan, again showing that Keele University on top. That one just out of the reach of Dews. He couldn't get quite the touch he was looking for. And now we go to game number 3 and is must win for Valleyfield. They have only the goal from Vegas. And, you know, they got that offensive pressure. They got the second and third chances. They finally had some follow-ups. I have to imagine we're going to see something very similar now out of Valleyfield, where maybe they press up a little too much and maybe some more counterattack options are available for Keele.
Yeah, maybe so. Let's not forget early on in that game too, Keele got their noses in front, and that really allowed them to sort of sit back and be comfortable. Fresh-faced here with the 0-0 on DFH. I'm curious to see what approach they bring to it, because it is so easy to get into your own head. They're one game away from bringing a slight bit of redemption to Europe. Not enough as far as I'm concerned, but they're doing all they can, because early on a big save from K3. Valleyfield showing them signs we were looking for early.
Broken, coming around on one. Demolition on K3. He's been a popular target for all of Valleyfield. Popped up for Tokyo, ahead of a double commit. And Broken just could not get one rolled netward. And Vegas doing all he can to keep this alive on the back line. Vegas will roll around again, and Broken can't redirect that on target. But still opportunities now for Valleyfield. These are the multiple opportunities that they've been looking for. Who steal out of the corner from Broken. Couldn't get control for a flip reset, and K3 will roll one out, but they are far from out of the woods. That might have helped them, though, as Broken collided with Tokyo, and just that half second that opened up, not enough! Tokyo scores on the redirect. Great recovery out of Valleyfield.
Tokyo from east to west. Look at this redirect, so well cushioned. Do stretch, but he was nowhere near, and it's 1 minute on the board, 1 goal on the board. Valleyfield with their first lead of the series.
That team bump was almost like a blessing because it slowed him down, kept him in the zone. Oh, he just happens to be downfield. So we're going to pause things here with Valleyfield up a goal here after the first minute. And we'll see what is going on with the players, make sure everybody is ready to go and on a level playing field, of course, with the stakes being what they are.
Yes.
We certainly do not want to see any external factors affect anything with our World Championship. So Valleyfield gets their first lead.
Yes.
That's a big mental hurdle that they've overcome, and maybe we're starting to see some of the signs that we saw from St. Clair, where they got the early goal in Game 3. They started turning things around. I mean, Game 3 was a rout in that series. And maybe signs of something similar coming now for Valleyfield.
Oh, Valleyfield, Quebec, and I think all of Canada will be hoping that that is the case. And they look magnificent in that first minute. It was a huge storm to weather, and we probably thought Keele had done it when they got off defense for the first time that entire game. Immediately it comes back. The space opened up in the midfield because they were too keen to get out onto the field, and Tokyo punished immediately with a beautiful shot. And that's the thing for Keele. They need to keep themselves calm, cool and collected. We saw when they were on the verge of a huge victory in the lower finals against the Berlin Phoenix. They were 3-1 up stacks, and then they lose 3 on the bounce, and you can't help but think that got in their head a little bit. To have beaten Berlin and to make it to the grand finals of EURC, they were 5th seed coming in. That would have been well above the call and order, and they're losing them 3 on the bounce to a great team. I mean, maybe Valleyfield aren't Berlin, but the stage is even bigger, and Keele are going to have to try and manage that.
Keele defensively has been so good, but it is one of the toughest things to do, especially at this stage of Rocket League, is play consistently great defense. Eventually, a team is going to sneak through. That's what happened with Valleyfield last game. They tied up game 2, immediately conceded another goal, but now they've got the lead in game 3 after being outscored 5-0 for the first 9 minutes of the series. Opportunity for Broken, just barely saved by K3. And without K3's defense, this would be a much, much different series. Tokyo trying to get in Potty's way there. As Potty will jump out from the wall, he's got K3, and the shot not on target. The pass maybe led him a little too far as well. I'll tell you what, K3, I think, for me, has been unquestionably the MVP of this series, despite Potty having that Game 1 hat trick, and I think Valleyfield have been absolutely right to have a target on K3, try to take him off the pitch as often as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a fair point to make about K3. I mean, he leads, but he doesn't necessarily lead from the front, but you cannot underestimate the fact, you know, he has masterminded some of Keele's finest heists, and yet his fingerprints are not always found at the scene. He's going to have to pull off a job right here. He's going to have to pull off one hell of a performance, because he's going to not make contact there again either as Valleyfield. I like the response from them. They're not sitting back here with that 1-goal lead. They're trying to extend it. They know they've got the offense capable of pushing Keele back. They're doing literally just that. And why not keep it up?
Tokyo up there so quick, and I don't think Keele is ready for this kind of aggression out of Valleyfield. They were kind of allowed to hang back a little bit the first game and a half and not worry about Valleyfield pressing forward, but clearly there's been a shift. But they're ready for this one. K3 leading from the front.
Absolutely, a big performance. I mean, why don't we just talk a little bit more about him? I mean, talk about showing up at the big occasion. Stacks their series to qualify for the World Championship against Aalborg, one of the best Danish teams in Europe. K3 got 7 goals and 4 assists. That was in 4 games, Stacks. That was in 4 games.
Man is a monster. Dews, guy one up, Broken has it easily. Here's K3, worst case scenario for Valleyfield, they gave it up!
What a save!
And Dews' shot saved away by Broken. Lesser defender would have absolutely let that one through. Broken up to the task, but here's Valleyfield trying to keep that pressure on. Vegas tried to stay with the play, but just ran out of real estate. Now K3 up and away, but Tokyo is ready for it. Great pass down to Vegas, and this is what we expected to see early on in this series. Dialecto, the passing on point now with a few warm-up games under their belt.
Absolutely the only team at this tournament with more assists per their goals, as Poddy will get a goal. I could say it was UNLV, it doesn't matter, because it's another assisted goal for Keele, and it's a goal for Keele that puts them on series point right now.
It wasn't Dews' touch directly that got the pass out to Potty, but then the clear away on the back wall opens things wide open now for Keele to take a 2-1 lead. Similar storyline to game 2 on Aquadome, as this will go right out to Broken, and kind of had to communicate with Tokyo who was going to take charge, and Potty has no interest in who's taking charge for Valleyfield, as Keele tried to close the door on the Canadian squad, though that's a good win from Vegas, but they can't go any further. And Broken couldn't get up in time either, and this is the problem for Valleyfield because there's nothing left to lose. You know they're going to be trying to cheat forward now. This is an opportunity if K3 doesn't get this away cleanly, and he does just ahead of Vegas. Valleyfield have to go back to the drawing board, and you know they want to spend as little time as possible on this half of the field.
Yeah, it's a quick transition there, but it has had a rebuttal once again from Keele, who are looking to strike on the counter, and a third goal for the Englishman you could see would spell the end of the series. Valleyfield, they need another late equaliser. They found one last game, but they need this second here in game 3 into the final 30 seconds. It is ticking for Valleyfield. The lower bracket is awaiting.
20 seconds, they're going to need the crowd's energy to try and get back into this series. Vegas for Broken. Oh, he's a decoy, and it's on the goal line and out. Unbelievable, as Keele escaped from jail. 8 seconds left. Potty just gonna try and kill time, but he may have just served one up. Oh, Broken couldn't get to it. Another missed opportunity at the end. Keele have been playing with fire and somehow miraculously do not get burned.
And Europe has a win here. at the CRL World Championship, and look what it means to them, Stacks. They are so pumped to go to that winners final. They play against the winner of Colombia and Hamburg, but what a performance. You know, this is a long-awaited win for Europe. Valleyfield, you could say they deserved maybe a game or two in that series, but Keele, at times, just undeniable.
Keele defensively, they weren't in the same form in game 3 as they were in game 1, but they were literally just good enough. That ball hanging around on the goal line. Absolutely heartbreaking for Valleyfield as they'll drop down into the lower half of the group, and the Keele Krakens advance along the upper side. They have a chance with another win later today to avoid having to play on Elimination Day tomorrow. As we look back at the Nissan replay and we see just how things panned out in game 3, the big shot from K3 over and over again. Potty got the series started with the hat trick and then closed it with just an incredible performance. I think they got a touch there to help keep that ball out. I said K3 might have been the MVP of the series, but then I think Potty kind of ripped that title back at the end, especially with that last touch.
Yeah, he certainly did. All three of them really as well. I mean, you think about that Dues goal on Aquadome as well. Such a strong team performance, as we'd expect out of Keele. It's well balanced, and any one of them could step up, and step up they really did. Whether they can continue to do it and go all the way in the group, yet to see. Valleyfield, you know, they're going to be ready to sort of regain in the lower bracket, but I think we want to hear from Keele right now. Let's send it to Rome with a Keele interview. I don't even know what player, but I'm excited to see.
Hello, hello. Thank you very much, Telacto. I'm Rome DMV here, joined alongside K3, and I just got to ask you out the gate, how does it feel to come across the pond and catch a win this early?
Wow, what an honor it is to come over here, to play in front of an audience like this, to represent my region, and to get a 3-0 win as well, nonetheless. How about that, NA? How about that?
Oh yeah, you can see you got the crowd cheering you on. They're definitely feeling good about this one. You're able to knock down that Canadian squad, and I mean, feeling very good. I gotta ask you, you're getting a little bit more real. Now, this is a fact that you might not know, but it's very dear to my heart. You are the first black player to make a CRL land. So I gotta ask you, how does that feel, and what does that mean to you?
Oh, it's an honor for, you know, black people out there. We compete in sports, esports, anything to represent. There's a lot of people back home, a lot of people that were watching. I want to be an inspiration that it doesn't matter, you can compete, you can win. This is it.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, giving hope to all these kids out there. If you're a young black kid playing Rocket League and you think, oh man, can I make it to CRL? It can happen. Simple as that, man. The man is living proof. So let me just go ahead and ask you the final question. What is this team's ceiling this weekend?
No ceiling. Colombia likely next. I don't show the result between them and Hamburg, but either team were ready. I hope you were watching because we've got more tricks up our sleeve. We are ready to win CRL.
All right. Well, hey, that's a lot of confidence. I like what I'm hearing, K3. Thank you very much, and congrats to Keele for getting that 3-0 victory. This was absolutely incredible. We will be back after this short break. You guys don't want to go anywhere. We got more action coming up.
I was putting